Alright, so we're checking out the ISDT608PD smart charger, and this is another one of these super tiny, very useful, versatile chargers in my opinion. Did a review on the Toolkit RC Pocket, or the M4 Pocket, a while back, and you can see kind of in the similar size range. So the ISDT is a little bit thinner, and not quite as tall. But it is significantly wider than the Toolkit RC. Now, the big difference here is that the ISDT will do 6S, whereas the M4 Pocket will only do up to 4S. So, big limitation on the Toolkit RC. ISDT does not do storage charging, but it does do a discharge to USB-C. And I'll show you how that feature works. Kind of similar to storage charging, so I'll show you how to use that, but it's kind of like putting energy from one battery to another. Not much you get here. Obviously you get the charger, comes with the box. There's a sticker that I peeled off that was on this side here, so there's two inputs here, the XT60 plus a USB-C, and there was a sticker that was on there. And basically it says, it's a caution, say you can only use one or the other, not both. Probably because it can't handle both. And then you got three buttons here, you got a little screen, it's a color LED screen, some ventilation vents here on the side. There's a fan inside here. And on the bottom here you got your balance port, plus another XT60 connector. On the back you got some specs, and you have the user's manual here. And so on the back here you got some specs here. You got input voltage DC 5 to 30 volts, and then USB-C 5 to 28 volts. That's for each of the two inputs here, XT60 and USB-C. Output voltage 3 to 30 volts. I think that is going to also be on the USB-C. Input current is up to 10 amps on the XT60, and the USB-C it's 5 amps. So I believe it's 240 watts on the XT60 on input, and 140 watts max on USB-C. Balance current of 0.8 amps per cell. Charging current of half an amp to 10 amps. Then also on the max just charging power on the USB-C is going to be up to 100 watts and 5 amps. Okay, so I'm going to power this up on USB-C. I have this hooked up to a laptop power supply. It's 100 watts. And you first turn it on here. It actually shows you it tests it, and it's 100 watts of max input power. Then it goes to the starting screen, and then here you can actually go through and plug in a battery here and start charging. If you plug in a power source on the XT60, it's going to be a little bit different on the starting screen. Here it gives you the low input voltage limit, so you can actually set this. So this is a 3S LiPo. Let's say you can set the limit to maybe like 10.5. So that's about 3.5 volts per cell. And then you have to do this at each time that you plug in a battery, because they might have a different battery. That way, if you're charging stuff off of whatever power supply, battery supply you're using, you don't over discharge that battery. It'll limit that. So before we do a test charge here, it just shows you the input specs. So it's 20 volts on the USB-C and 100 watts power delivery, temperature and in Celsius and in Fahrenheit. I'm going to go ahead and plug in a battery here to charge, and then plug in the balance lead. This is a 2S LiPo. And we're going to short press the center screen. It'll bring up this charge screen here. Then we want to set our values here. So it doesn't have auto cell detection, so you have to change that manually. So you have to press and hold this. You'll see this little circle go around. You want to make sure it goes all the way around. And then each of these will light up. You can adjust the amperage here. So this is a 1000 milliamp hour battery. I'll charge it at 2C, so it'll be 2 amps. Short press the button, it'll switch over to the voltage. I suppose you could adjust your end voltage here. So I'll just make it, default's 4.2. I'll just make it like 4.2, 4.22. And then this is where you're going to change the cell count here. So it's 2S. And then you can change the chemistry here if you want. So I'm going to leave that on LiPo. And then we'll long press again to get out. and then press the button, and now we're charging. You can see this is lit up here, it's red, and it'll show how many milliamp hours are going in, the current voltage of the battery, and the amps. And then you have your, this is the specs on the input here, 19.9 volts at 17 watts. Hit the right arrow here, and it'll show you the per cell voltage here. And then you press the right arrow again, it shows you the internal resistance of each of these cells. This will adjust as the cell voltage goes up to completion. And then you just basically wait until it's done, and once it hits your target voltage of 4.22 volts per cell, then it'll be done, and it'll give you a beep that the charge is over. All right, so quick demo of the discharge function. So this is one way of putting your batteries into storage function or storage charge. Plug this in, plug in your balance lead. Nothing is on the other side here. And let's see here. Short press the center button here, and you have your USB out. And here you can set your per cell voltage. So go over here and I'm gonna set it to 3.8 volts per cell. I'm gonna plug in something on the USB-C output over here. And we'll just go ahead and we'll plug in the pocket, the M4 pocket here on this side. As you can see here, it's not powered up when you plug it in. You have to short press the center button again, and then short press the center button one more time. Now it is sending power out. You can see this is now powered up, and it's currently at 12.3 volts over there. So we are at, for this input battery, this is basically the battery we're discharging now. This shows you your per cell voltage at 4.12 volts. And we'll go ahead and stick a battery on this side. Start a charge over here on this side to this 4S LiPo, and now you can see the voltage slowly kind of coming down. So yeah, we see the amperage here along with the voltage, milliamps going out, and then this will slowly come down to 3.8 volts per cell, and then it'll shut off, so that you basically can, if you have a battery you want to discharge or put into storage charge, you can do that through this mechanism by charging up other batteries. So that's the one way. Or you could actually, you don't have to actually charge up other batteries, but maybe other devices that use USB-C, like a smartphone, or some other device that uses USB-C charging, you can use your batteries that aren't at storage charge and get it to storage charge in this method here, even though there's no formal storage charging function on this charger. Okay, so another nice feature of this charger is that you can connect their ISDLink app to this charger via, I think it's Bluetooth. So again, I installed that on my phone, going to then connect it up to this charger. So bring up the app, hit the plus button here, hit confirm, and it's going to scan for it. It should pop up here. All right, hit allow to find new nearby devices. There we go. Found the 608 PD. Hit plus there. Bluetooth binding. Go ahead, hit OK. And now we have access to the device. So if you don't want to go through all the hassle of doing the buttons here, I think this is an easier way. Okay, we can change some of our settings here. Let's see. LiPo, 2S, full charge voltage. Let's change that to 4.22. Charge current 1 amp. So I did plug in a battery, and it's not charging. You see it's sleeping there. Let's go ahead and hit start. So you can actually start and stop the charging from the phone itself. Pretty nice. Oh, and then there's some preset charging tasks down here, so you can set up these here as well if you have some favorites. If you don't want to have to go through set up each one, you can have some favorites here for some commonly used batteries. I got to complete when the charger's done, it'll beep. can change your screen brightness. Interesting. So inferior, medium, and higher. So you can see that adjusted the screen brightness. It's all in real time. Pretty nice. Do a voltage calibration. And it also shows your current charging stats right here. So same stuff is being reflected over here. It's a little bit off, 7.8 volts versus 7.9 volts, 7 milliamp hours. That's correct. And then you have your current per cell voltage there, and then also the per cell internal resistance. So pretty nice. You don't have to use all the buttons if you don't want. You just connect up the app and do everything from the phone. So pretty cool. Yeah, so definitely like this ISDT charger here in terms of its size, portability. I've been keeping the Toolkit RC in the car, probably going to be also keeping the ISDT in the car as well. And obviously for 6S batteries, this is going to be the only way to go. And the fact that it has a lot more output power, 240 watts and 140 watts on this charger does make it a lot more versatile. Like, you'll be able to charge a little bit bigger batteries a lot faster than on the M4 Pocket, which is limited to 80 watts and 1 to 4S. Anyway, these are both the same price, so kind of, depends on what your needs are. If you don't really need the 6S, maybe you don't need to go this route. But if you have some bigger batteries, you want to charge a little bit faster at higher wattages, then the ISDT is definitely the way to go. And yeah, these are both, I think, $29.99. So I'll link this down in the video description if you want to check it out. That'll do it for this video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.